International Yoga Day. It's a reminder to seek the warrior within us, the one that yoga embodies through each asana and movement, the one that integrates the mind, body, and soul into one. Because, in my opinion, the meaning of yoga is one, the one that resides within all of us as the divine energy that forces us through all the adversities in life and through all the currents which flow against us, to stay grounded in our feet in times when the current is turbulent, to stand in one feet even though when gravity is against us, to fold our hands in gratitude to the forces that enable us to do these movements, to fold our hands in gratitude of the practices that have been carried out in India through generations from the rishis who have started this practice and through the schools of yoga that have continued this practice. It asks us to stretch our limits that have been set by others, and our own minds that have been telling us not to move forward, that have been conditioned by forces of lethargy and through the forces of inertia. Every bout of yoga in the morning can start with Surya Namaskar. It's a salutation to the sun, even though when it is there and when it is not. It balances both sides of the body, right and left, just as there are signs of duality in our life, such as the dark and the light, the night and the day. Yoga integrates each forces into one that is within us, not distinct from us. It is a practice through which we can take breaks at our own convenience and bringing our breath and the movement into one, that is the yoga. It is a combination of flexibility, stretching, strength, and endurance at the same time. It is one of the few forms of exercise that does not wear out the body, instead, vitalizes it with the real energy that is always within us. It reinforces the belief that the energy is within us and it will carry us through the various adversities in life. Even when we are not down, we will remember the breath that we took in our morning yoga session, the stretch that we made ourselves to feel, even though our body wasn't conditioned at the time when we started out. It will make us disciplined in all the other realms of life, even in those in which we are not adept enough. It will keep us humble to learn each practice as we did through the yoga practices that we did and were constant at. We did not let complacency dictate our mood. This practice will enable us to sustain and thrive in each of the endeavors that we make in our life. It will always keep us grounded to the beliefs that are the most fundamental ones in our thinking. It will not allow us to drift away through the currents of life and allow us to levitate through the forces that push us down. It will never allow the ego to become so big that we cannot stretch ourselves even further in each movement. Every yogic asana is a tribute to the sage that once practiced it and embodied it, as this one is to the sage Mariachi. It tells us to flow like water, to bend our bodies according to the forces, to align with the forces so that there is no division, there is only unity. India is a land where so many cultures and diversities coexist happily, and yoga is the embodiment. There is no imbalance in yoga because it always counters the left and the right side of the body. Whenever each side gets stronger, we counter it by doing the same asana on the other side. So there is always the balance of nature that is restored. Yoga soothes our mind and body. We often get exhausted from the other activities that we do through our lives. Yoga brings a perfect balance to all the forces that are within us and centers them into the part which is the center of all the forces, which is within us, which is sacred. It asks us to breathe in times when it is tough, in times when we are not yet ready, in times when the stress and the anxiety might get better of us. So it centers us, it grounds us into postures as basic as sleeping on the ground but consciously, not letting us divulge into the forces of inertia and rest, but conscious enough to do asana and movement just as coming out of that position of rest. The rest is to make us more vital in the movement that we do. Sarvangasana is a great asana which strengthens our spine, both literally and figuratively. Every action in yoga and in life must have a spiritual purpose. A purpose that is beyond the movement that we are doing, but embodying it in our own lives, through our own existence. With the people that we are aligned to. It stretches us like halasana. and the Karnpid asana. It stretches the hamstrings and seamlessly transitions into other asanas, which make yoga ever so exciting and calm. Can two forces that are complementary or opposite coexist in yoga? It surely can. That is what makes it so special and divine. Even with asanas which stretch us, like the pigeon pose, we are never at discomfort, even though we can be at the initial stages. But the later stages, as we practice it through the discipline which yoga teaches, we always become self aware to not get uncomfortable when we are slightly feeling the stretch. Instead, it prepares us and restores the balance within us to do the asana better, firmer, and stronger the next time we attempt it. And even after attempting it or doing it, we always show gratitude by folded hands to the forces that enable us. Because we are just a doer, an actor. The act is beyond us. We can only do the karma that is upon us, that is ought to be done by us. We must not try to dictate the forces that are out of control, and yoga reminds us each day. It brings harmony back to our lives, stabilizes us as we are passing through the currents of day to day life and responsibilities, grounds us, centers us. To our fundamentals, our breath. As we transition ourselves and our bodies into difficult asanas, it reminds us that breathing is a very subjective experience. And through the course of our journey in yoga, breathing, according to me, has been defined differently in different phases of my practicing yoga. When I was doing the peacock pose or the mayurasana, my initial notion towards breathing was not to breathe or hold my breath, but later it became normal. That is what yoga and the practice of discipline teaches us, to become normal, to be ourselves, to be one, yet disciplined.